I want to share with you 5 tips to cook the perfect steak and all the learnings I've had over the years to help you master an awesome steak for those that you cook for and those that you love. So stick around and we're going to get right into it. All right, so before we get into the tips, you want to choose the right grill, and this is one of the reasons why I love the Monument Grill. It's the Eminence 605 grill. This thing's bad to the bone, man. Like, it's got so much grill space. Then it's got this little warming grate up here. It's got the infrared back here. It's got a rotisserie accessory. All these burners that light up. So at nighttime when you're grilling, you can see everything at night perfectly. It's got this incredible side burner, which we're gonna use today. And it's an infrared side burner to be able to get that perfect sear. So I'm looking forward to showing you that and testing that out. And then it's got all this cool storage and a little spot that you're able to put your propane, and it has a sensor there below that tells you if your propane is low or if you have a full tank. And it has right now it shows me I'm not green right now, but I'm in the middle. So I've got enough propane, but hey, Scott, you need to get ready when it turns red. So it's got some cool features, plus little probes for grilling if you're doing your steaks, which we'll use today as well. So again, those are really helpful to keep in mind as you want to choose the right grill. And this is kind of a pre-tip before we get into the steak tips. The first tip for steaks is selecting the right steak. You want to get good marbling and the right thickness. Now, I wanted to buy something that most people would buy, so I just went to my local grocery store, and this is probably an inch thick. What do you think, Caleb?
Yeah, it's substantial.
Yeah, so and you could go up to 2 inches, and I think the sweet spot's probably 1.5. But one thing I would recommend is don't get a thin steak if you're doing a steak night. Use a thin steak for sauteing things and it's going added to a recipe or something like that. But for a traditional steak, for a meal, go thicker. Find the right marbling. You'll make a huge difference when it comes to the flavor at the end, is choosing the right one first. So that's the first thing I want to recommend, is choosing the right steak as the first tip. All right, team, the second tip I have for you is dry brining. Now, when it comes to brining your steak, you could do a wet brine, you could do a dry, and I'm a big fan of salt brining and doing dry brine. Now, it's fun to experiment if you're into this cooking world and this is a hobby for you. I would just tell you, experiment, because it's just fun, and there's some wild things on the internet, and you've probably seen some wild things even from my channel. So I'm just saying, experiment if this is your hobby. That's what makes it fun. But if you're just here for a fast tip, salt brining, there's science behind it, but essentially when you put kosher salt, I like to use Diamond kosher salt on your steak. What it's doing, it's taking the salt and it's penetrating the meat. It's sucking out all of the juices and then it's releasing and bringing it back to the surface. And what it's doing is it's tenderizing the steak. Now, when I grew up, my dad used to like poke holes and put knives in it as a way of tenderizing it. That totally works, but you can really avoid that, in my opinion, and just salt brine. Well, this is my seasoning, but you can salt brine this an hour before is typically just sufficient. But also letting your meat come to room temperature as part of the same tip will help you have no moisture before you get to searing, so you have a great steak crust when it's that time. So this is the first tip, is salt brining. Let it come to room temperature. You will see a huge difference.
Do you salt brine in the fridge or on the counter?
Oh, I salt brine, I put it in the fridge, and then I put it in the room temperature once I think it's done. Salt brining from an hour before, then I'll put it out on the table for maybe 10 minutes or something like that, 15 minutes, and set up the grill. And by the time I'm setting up the grill, it's ready to go. The third tip is that you want to preheat your grill. This is on a gas grill. And so what we're going to do on this Monument Grill is we're going to go ahead and do the outer burner. So my strategy here is I like to reverse sear steaks. There's 3 ways you could cook a steak, in my opinion. You could do the flip method. You just get your temperature up to degrees, 400, 500 degrees, and just constantly flipping over direct flame until you get to your desired temperature. That's one strategy and totally works awesome. The other one is you can reverse sear it, and you can go sear first and then set it offset, where when I say offset in direct cooking, you're putting the steak where there's no fire underneath. Or you could cook it indirectly, no fire underneath first, and then sear it over direct flame. So that's my favorite way of cooking steak, is reverse searing. If I'm in a rush, sometimes I will just do the flip method, as I'm just flipping until I get to my internal temperature, and it does a great job. But today I want to showcase how you can use this grill. So we are going to set these side burners to its full temperature and then put the steak in the middle where it's indirect, no flame. And when we get to an internal temperature that I'm looking for, we'll pull it off for a few minutes, and then we'll fire up this infrared side burner and get to searing and get that amazing steak crust. So let's get this started. What's cool is it's got a little ignition button here. I'm gonna open up the grill, and actually before I get into this, we're gonna take a timeout. I'm gonna do a little grill brush cleaning, and then we're gonna fire up this gas grill. Fire this thing up. All right, got it lit. Do the same thing on here. I already heard it light. And it's already tracking the temperature, was super cool. So we're gonna go ahead and close the lid. Got the outer burners going. And when I see this getting up to 250 degrees is kind of what I'm going for, because that's kind of how I do it whenever I'm on a different type of grill. Is 250 is a good spot for indirect cooking. And then we'll fire it up to that 500, 600, who knows how hot this thing will get, and we'll get to searing here in a moment. So I'll come back whenever I see that we've got this up to speed, but that's a really cool feature, letting you know the temperature of the grill. Well, while the grill is getting up to temperature, we're gonna season this. You can season this without any binder, but you could use olive oil. I like to use hot sauce sometimes. This is, if you're learning, this is just something I like to do. It's not required. Does it add flavor? I think it adds a little subtle flavor to it, because again, everything we do, you're trying to add flavor. So this is just a little subtle way of doing that. I like using just a straight SPG. This is my all y'all salt, pepper, garlic. I have fourth ingredient, and it's celery seed, gives it kind of an earthy, natural sweetness. And then we will just season this. I'm not left-handed, but I'm doing pretty good.
You are.
So pat your steak in, and then we're gonna do the same thing on this side. I already put the sauce on there, and we're doing pretty good here, getting this seasoned, patted in. And then when you get all this excess seasoning on from your cutting board and you want to get the sides of your steak, you just kind of do this, kind of make sure you maximize all of the spots on your cutting board. And then we're going to just let this sit here while the grill's up to temperature, where I'm looking over and we're getting closer to my 200. So we'll see you back here in a moment. Tip number 4 is cooking to internal temperature and not to time. So someone just says, hey, cooking a brisket, cooking a pork butt, cooking a steak is going to take 60 minutes or 5 hours, 10 hours. Every piece of meat is different. So this is why we use a probe to monitor the temperature, cook to internal temperature versus just a blanket time that someone tells you on the internet. So that's what we're doing. We've got it to actually it's at 277. So I can even bring down some of these burners, because I don't necessarily need it at I like 250, but again, 250 to 275, even if it creeps up to 300, ain't gonna be a big deal. So I'm putting it in the center grill here, where it's indirect, but you can see the flame trying to already get to it. That's why we're gonna put these burners a little lower that are closer. The middle ones are off. Then we're gonna take this probe, and we're gonna go ahead and stick it in here to the side. Make sure I got it perfectly. There we go. All right, perfect. So here in a moment, I'm going to show you on screen to pull up the app and show you those steps. That's a great feature. Again, hopefully this will help you monitor the temperature, but we're able to see it right here and also on the app here. And we're clicking on beef. I'm going to cook this to medium rare, which is how I like it. So now it's set that up so we know what the internal temperature is with the probe. That's the grill temperature. We're getting everything up to speed. All right, so it's cool that it shows the internal temperature. We're obviously just put it on 32 degrees. So we'll just wait until we get to the internal temperature I'm looking for. I like to cook steaks, this is just personal preference, to about 115 to 118, because before I sear. And you want to typically, when you get to searing, you want to pull it off about 10 degrees before you get to your final destination. So technically I could even take it to 120 if I like 130. I typically like 130. So I think that's what we'll do. Once we hit internal temperature of 120, then we'll pull it off, get this side burner going. All right, team. The last tip, the fifth tip, is searing over direct flame and then resting the meat. So now it's time to sear. We're at that 118, 120. We're gonna go ahead and turn off all these other burners here because we don't need that. Love that whenever that flame just pops and goes, it's done. Go ahead and take out the probe. It did its job. And now we're gonna fire up using the ignition here. Up, I heard it light. So now what we're gonna do is leave it on full flame. And then I'm gonna let this go for 30 seconds to a minute. And I'm gonna do a hand test. And if my hand can't sit over there for longer than 5 seconds, I know it's hot enough for searing. And then we're just gonna do the flip method with my hot glove. So we're getting, oh yeah, we're already getting there. Give it another 10 seconds here. And I think I already can see the flame. And then with the fat rendering, oh yeah, I think we're there. So with the fat rendering, it's gonna the flames are gonna go up. So we'll bring it in the camera so you can kind of see this action. Now we're reverse searing directly over the flames. And I like to do this for about 30 seconds per side. And we're just gonna do the flip method, maybe even a minute per side. All right, just so you can kind of see how we looking.
Nice.
All right, do another flip. This is a ribeye, so you could also do a New York strip loin. We didn't mention that earlier, but I love strip loins as well but I love ribeyes and wanted to do a ribeye for this cook. So another minute and we'll just keep on flipping until we get that crust going, baby. All right, we just took this off the searing station. That thing performs so cool. We let this rest, which is a key step. And now we are going to slice into this. We're gonna kind of cut around here, the fat here, which is my wife's favorite part. And we're just gonna slice some slices for a little taste test here. All right, and then we're gonna get some smaller slices. And what I like to do, my espresso bourbon is coming out this fall, is I'm gonna take a slice here and then also, do you want some?
Oh yeah, come on.
I'm gonna do a little dab. Now, I know steak doesn't need sauce, cook it perfectly. But man, I'm telling you guys, this totally amplifies it. You could dip, marinade, drip, all the things. Here is a fork for you. Let's do a little taste test.
All right.
I'll do this guy.
All right.
Cheers. What do you think?
Oh, that's dope.
So it's an espresso bourbon sauce. So it's coffee and espresso with garlic and pepper and a little soy.
Oh, that's good.
Do you like that?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, ooh, I'm going in.
Okay, fine. I mean, I was.
Come on. You need more?
Yeah, just give me a little dip.
All right. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I think they nailed it. A little bite. Oh man, I want to keep on going. That is so good. Friends, I hope these steak tips helped you out as you're thinking about how to maximize your flavor, getting that steak sear going. And if you have any questions, also, if you really like this Monument Grill, we have a discount code we'll have in the description for you and on the screen to help you get a great discount. This is a really fun grill that you'll enjoy. And who doesn't like cooking steak, man? Steak is so fun. Check out all the playlists on the channel to kind of maximize your grilling expertise. And if you haven't tried out Bartlow's barbecue seasonings and sauces, that's bartlowsbarbecue.com. And you can use welcome20 for a discount code. And again, from my backyard to yours, less hate, more love, good barbecue. Till next time.